Hello everyone. I wanted to put a short video together to share some of the recent enhancements we've made to the portal. Specifically, I wanted to share some enhancements we've made to exit strategies and reporting. So let's get started. So I have in front of you, you guys should be familiar by now with the note dashboard. And in order to get to the exit strategies, you basically need to select a note by left mouse click to the left of the note in question and selecting the icon for exit strategy. Okay. Once you do that, it looks like I have multiple items selected here, so I'll deselect this one here and click OK. Once I've done that, you reach the uh, property page for the note. It gives you an image of the property, some market comparables, some information about the property, and some demographic information. On the left-hand side, there is a strategy icon. So if you select the strategy icon, it brings up two main strategies that we have for performing notes. Now we have some non-performing exit strategies, but that's not applicable here for this particular note. So we're going to go through a couple of strategies here for resale and partial. So let's work through the scenario here, and let's say that in 6 months I want to resell the note I just purchased. And so I'll go ahead and select December payment, the December date, and want to obviously get more than what I paid for it, or more than what I invested. So we'll go ahead and unlock this and modify this to say 35,000. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and lock the number of payments. And basically, I need to adjust the effective yield until I get to an amount that will return a sale price of 35,000. So I'm going to go ahead and modify this to, let's see, I'll start with 10%. That got me to a number that's a little less than 30, my target amount to 35,000. So let's say maybe 9.5. That's a little bit more, so obviously we're somewhere in between. So let's say 9.75, and that gets me to a sale price that's relatively close to my $35,000 target. Okay, as I mentioned, I want to season this note with 6 months. So the total that I would receive is basically a multiple of 6 with the payment. And so I've included some custodial fees, custodian fees, as well as servicing fees. So the gross proceeds in this particular case would be the sale plus the amount received as far as seasoning payments. And then the cost total is basically the cost associated with securing the note to begin with. So we have the note price plus some servicing fees and transfer fees and bank fees. Now all this information can be found in parameters, so you can go through and make sure that these defaults are accurate in general. And those figures are actually pulled into each of these strategies. Okay, so we have a 32,905 all in as far as cost. And so if we subtract the gross proceeds with the cost total, we get a $4,000, a little over $4,000 profit. And over a 6-month period of time, we get an annualized return on investment of 25%. Okay, so that's that for resale. We're going to go ahead and move down to partials. So we're going to go through the same kind of scenario here. We'll go ahead out to December 2nd. Again, I want to sell a good chunk, but not the entire balance. So we'll say $20,000 is what I'd like to sell. And so we're going to go ahead and lock that. And then basically it comes down to what the yield do I want to provide in the sale for the investor. So in this case, let's say I want to say 9% yield. So that will generate an 83 payment to be sold to the buyer of the partial. Okay, so I'll have the same seasoning, 6 months of seasoning. So basically selling this partial out in early December. I have the custodian fees and the loan servicing fees in place here. Basically, after the sale, after the payments have been executed, the 84th payment will come back to me. So I have 175 payments on the back end of this note, which totals out to about a little under 57,000 at 56,823. So I have the gross proceeds of 78,771. Overall cost of 47,600 for an overall profit of 31,000 um, over a span of 264 months, which basically gives me an annualized return on investment of 3%. Okay. Now, the other thing I want to call out here is beyond this, the reports are basically a graphical representation of some of the information that we have here in the table. We have added some graphical reports. So in this particular case, this is a graph of kind of the partial note, and then you have the fully amortized note. So this provides a visual to the buyer of the note of how his balance is reduced with each payment over time until we get to the 80th payment or so. Okay, and then we have the fully amortized note behind this superimposed over the top. So this obviously serves as a good visual to the prospective investor as how the payments are distributed over time, and then if there's further questions, there's the amortization of the partial, there's the amortization of the full note, and then we also have an amortization of the resale. So if I just wanted to have the resale displayed, I can do that. If I wanted just the partial displayed, I can do that. Do that. Okay, so just by selecting deselecting some of these items here, and it's not really deselecting, but you'll see that there's a strike through on the graph that's displayed, and basically without the strike through, you basically is what's displayed on the screen. Okay, so beyond the exit strategies for performing notes, we did add some reports for payment history, and specifically we'll go here to a couple of notes here just to kind of demonstrate that. So I'm going to go see if I can locate a note here that I haven't worked with. See, this note here is probably one. No. So see, go back. So see, we have um, Birmingham, Alabama. This might be something. Okay, yes. So let's go ahead and cancel. Let's see, go back to Birmingham. Okay, so the first thing that you need to do before you can record a payment against a particular note is you actually have to tell the portal that you own the note. So I'm going to go ahead, just as we did with the exit strategies, select the note in question and go up here, and you see the icon here, buy sell note. So we'll go ahead and select this icon, and you'll notice that you'll see the buy form here up on the upper left hand corner. We're going to go ahead and leave things at default. We have the buyer information here that's already in place, and we'll go ahead and save. And now if you do a sort on what we own, you'll see that the Birmingham note now is available and selected and ready to go. So we're going to go ahead, in order to demonstrate some of the new payment reports, we're going to go ahead and start to record some payments here, just to be able to demonstrate some of the new features that some of the new reporting that we've added to the portal. So the icon for record payment is this icon here. So we'll go ahead and select that. And you notice here, so we have, I guess, the most recent payment that needs to be applied. So we'll go ahead and make that payment. Now we're going to kind of fictitiously go through and apply future payments, since this particular note seems to be up to date. So let's say for example that this note we've actually the borrower pays less than the full amount, And you notice here that anything less than interest adds to the balance of the adds to the principal balance. Okay, so we'll go ahead and make that payment, and then we'll make another payment here in July. Let's just say that he actually paid more than the minimum payment, and you notice here it actually added to principal. So we'll go ahead and make that payment. And then we'll go ahead and make a couple more payments here. Let's say all the way through December here. And then at this point, we can go ahead. We have enough information here that we can actually generate a meaningful report. So first report, we obviously have a general report for all the transactions that were recorded in the portal, okay, for all the regular payments that we made. Now you can see here that we have some payments that are um, for the full regular payment, and other payments that are either above or less than the regular payment. So I'd like to pay particular attention to the August payment and the July payment, because the August payment was above the minimum regular payment, or the regular payment, and the July was actually a lot less. So one of the reports that we've added to the portal is this percent of full payment report. So if you go here, you'll see that it gives you a representation for what percentage of full payment was made for that particular month. So as I mentioned here, we have the July payment that was less than the full payment of 219 and change, and then in August he paid, or he or she paid above the the um, the minimum, the regular payment. So in this particular case, the borrower hasn't been specified. So you can actually do this right on the report itself. So we say Joe Borrower is the borrower name, and that gets updated here. And in addition, I mean, this is something that you can actually, there's some filtering here that you can do by year. There was no payments between June of 2018 and June of 2019. You can all time here we have so if we had additional history here, you would be able to see and filter the report based on year, month, or maybe specify a specific date range if you wanted to just to see that. Um, this also displays a drop down for all the other notes that you may have in the portal, and it would provide similar payment history and percent of full payment information. Um, the added bonus here is that you can actually export this out to an Excel file that you can then make available to a potential investor as part of full disclosure for that note investment that he's considering to buy from you. This information you can easily make as part of a kind of a full disclosure package to the investor. Okay, so we'll go ahead and cancel out of this, and let's see anything else that I want to call out here. I think I've kind of shared that. There's also the ability here to make a out of sequence payment. So it's not tied to any particular payment period, but and if you wanted to make a payment, normally these kinds of payments go straight to principal. So we apply those here. If there's some late fee that we need to apply to a particular payment, we can do that as well, and that will be part of the will be part of the transaction history. So we'll go ahead and do that just so that we can see the effect of that on the payment history report. And so you see that this payment here went straight to principal, and you have late fee recorded here as well. So with that, let's go and cancel out of here. There's just one piece of information I want to share with you is, and we'll go ahead and refresh the page to kind of illustrate this, is the moment that we in the portal recognizes that a payment was made that was less than the full payment amount, we record the note type as, we change the note type from performing to subperforming. Now, if the borrower or makes or you record I believe six consecutive payments here, it will flip this from subperforming to performing. Okay, and this is something that obviously that you can set to your specification. If you want to say after 3 payments you want to flip it from subperforming to performing, or you wanted to say, hey, after uh, you know, three payments below the regular payment made, or that you could actually flip it from performing to sub-performing. It's really up to you. It's really up to you. So that's kind of something that you can change in the preferences there. So with that, I believe that's kind of what I wanted to share with you in this video. Really excited with the changes that we've made to the portal and the progress that we've made with the portal. We have a lot of new items that are coming in. A lot of exciting things that we'll be adding to the portal here in the near future. Hope you found this video helpful, and look forward to sharing future videos with you in the near future. So all for now, and stay tuned to future videos. Thanks again.